we don't.
Guys, am I
Now we're
just in time?
recording.
Guys,
Am I just in time?
You are just in time.
Okay,
I didn't know you were just in time. I thought you were Milo Schwacky.
I am.
Hello, I'm just in time.
yeah,
Okay, here we go. Gonna screen share. Gonna screen share the screen. No, I don't want that screen share. Try again. Oh. No, I don't want that one. Here we go. That helps. Okay, so you guys can see that, right? Just nod your heads. Actually, I made it so that you can unmute yourself if you have a question.
but
So
we can
let's
also
get-
see the other one.
What?
We can also see the other one.
Yeah, but behind it. I don't know why it did that. It just kind of frozen on my screen, but you guys can see the weekly assignment, I hope, or daily assignment.
We can.
Okay, the new link is right up there for chapters 12, 13, 14, and 15. Every day this week will either be 4 or 3 chapters, and we will finish the book this week because starting at the end of this week, you should remember, you will be taking over Zoom meetings, and you will be sharing one at a time your tour guide of whatever place in the world you want
That's
to
due
go.
today? Is that due today?
Okay, Milo, I just stated at the end of this week and through next week, we will be doing our tour guides, and you'll be leading us wherever you want to on this big, bright, green, blue planet, and we are going to thoroughly enjoy your tour guiding. I certainly hope we do.
Okay.
Now, again, the lit charts are here if you don't understand any of the chapters. Very interesting characters again. The guy who just drinks on his planet, the businessman, the lamplighter, and the geographer. Fascinating people for sure. And one of those is somebody that the little prince thinks he can be a friend with. So you'll have to figure out who that is, but I thoroughly enjoyed recording them. I really love this book. It's been a while since I've read this one. In fact, it's been a long time. So I'm really learning a lot from it. We have a new editing character, Marie Curie, very famous woman of science.
I love Mary
Was
Curie.
able to create or study X-rays. And unfortunately for her, they didn't know the danger of those X-rays until it was too late. But she did a lot for the world of science, for seeing inside the human body without cutting it open.
She discovered 2 elements.
Yes, she did. Okay,
I
the
want
spelling words are
spelling
still the
really
same.
cool.
Spelling vocabulary, the 75 words. In fact, you're going to be using them in subject-verb agreement. We have a slide share for subject-verb agreement that we're going to look at right now. So we got to come right up. There it is. Hopefully you can see that. Subject-verb agreement. What does that mean? Why do they have to agree? Are they arguing? Well, no, because they're plural or singular and plural, and they have to sound correct in our ears and correct in our writing. Singular subjects must have singular verbs. Plural subjects take on plural verbs. Well, what does that mean, Mr. Bagby? Rules on subject-verb agreement. The pronoun you always takes a plural verb. See, if you said you were invited to come, it sounds funny to say you was invited to come, or it should sound funny because it's grammatically incorrect. Let's get Zach in here. You is asked to clean the room? No, you are asked. You sings so well? No, you sing so well. If a sentence begins with here or there, the verb agrees with the subject which follows it. Here are the ways, or here is the way. Do you hear the difference? You got ways requires are. Macy, or you're making me dizzy. Here are the ways, or here is the way. Maceo, please stop rocking. Thank you.
How is that making
There is a huge gap, or there are huge gaps between the rich and the poor. If two subjects, one single and one plural, are connected by either or neither nor, the verb agrees with the near subject. In other words, the subject that's closer to the verb, that's what determines. Neither the players nor the coach is. If it said neither the coach nor the players, then you would use are, because players will be closer to the helping verb there, is. Either the conductor or the singers are, but if you flip it, the singers or the conductor is attending the concert. So it depends upon which one is closest to the verb, the predicate.
Mama.
A singular subject followed by intervening words or phrases such as with, as
You
well
come
as,
here.
in addition to, accompanied by, together with, and no less than, take on a singular verb. Jake, accompanied by his sisters, is enrolling in PCC. So when you have one of those phrases that you just plop into the sentence, you still go back to the original subject. Jake is, not Jake are. If it says his sisters, accompanied by Jake, you would use are, because that would be the subject. Daddy, as well as my brothers, is enjoying the party. Or my brothers, as well as daddy, are enjoying the party. Singular subjects joined by and require a plural verb, except when they mean one thing. Larry and Mercy are reading novels. My teacher and friend is here. Now, why is it is there? What do you think? Somebody unmute yourself. What do you think this means here? Is this talking about two different people or one person?
No, it's talking about
No,
one
it's one
person.
friend.
Your
It's
teacher
one
is
of the
also
friends.
your friend.
It's one of
Yes,
the
Your
friends.
teacher,
very good.
where your teacher
Not
is
all of
also
the
your
friends.
friend.
It's just one of the friends.
Thank you.
Your teacher is.
You are exactly right. Teacher and friend is one person. So that's
Me
why
and
you use
Macy are talking
the verb.
the exact same thing.
I know, it's pretty cool. Two singular subjects joined by either or, neither nor take a singular verb. Either mommy or daddy is coming, because it's not both, it's either. So you use is. Neither Freddie nor Dulce is waiting for you. Ferdy, I should.
Birdie and Dulce are the most unpopular names ever.
Ferdy nor Dulce, that's a different culture there. It has nothing to do with popularity. That's a different culture names. I believe it's Spanish. All right, moving on.
I don't think
Slide 10, we're only going to go through half of this. If a singular subject is followed by a phrase containing a plural noun, the verb is singular. One is yelling. If you say the boys, you would say are yelling, but it's only one of them. So one of the boys is yelling. One of the members is against the rule. The indefinite pronouns several, few, both, many, others are always plural. Indefinite means we're not sure. When you say several, few, both, many, and others, you know it's more than one, but you don't know how many. So that's why it's called indefinite. Both were asked to be freed. Several are seeking justice. You do know it both because that refers to two.
Both.
Two more.
Several.
The indefinite pronouns some, most, all, none are singular or plural according to the meaning of the sentence. Some of the girls were absent. In other words, there's more than one girl. There's some of them. But ice cream is one dish of ice cream or one box of ice cream. Some of the ice cream is left. It's not a bunch of different ice creams. It's one glop. One
How you made me want ice
one
cream?
container of ice cream.
Ice creams isn't a word.
No, you could use ice creams. If I said, hey, Milo, go stock all of the boxes of ice creams, that would indicate that there's more than one type. So
Yeah,
you can use that in a way that I just said. Go put all of the different types of ice creams away. So that
I
would
thought
be,
it was like one of those words like moose, or there were several moose over there. Like there were
you
several.
would use it rarely, but
boxes
in
of
that
ice.
case, you would use it. Every man and woman in this hall is a member. Any of the following indefinite pronouns is the subject. The verb is singular. Everybody is one another. Now, I have this listed. I have this listed in the screen share. So let me put the screen share up again. And let me put my
This
I
is
think
my
it always
book.
remembers the last thing you put up, so that's why it's always comes up, whatever is the last thing. So moving on. So how do you show that you know this? Well, you can look at the rest of the slide share. You've got a little online quiz. Tell me how many you got out of 20. And then use the words up here in showing that. And I put down examples here. And I put them in italics, so you might want to underline them if you're writing it out. Boys dangle, not details will help. The opposite will be details will help. Boys dangle, boy dangles. Pranks were not, prank is not. Eclipse occurs or eclipses occur. So
Even
that's how you will show your
understand
subject to
before.
verb agreement understanding by using the words. I've got 2 charts that you can look at. Subject verb agreement and subject verb agreement rules are part of the assignment today that you can review if you're stuck. So you can take a look at those 2 infographics. I love infographics on these assignment things. Okay, how are you going to make sure you keep reading all summer long? Now, I would recommend that you, of course, keep reading in the summertime because there's nothing better than to read challenging books, not the same easy peasy books that you might read all the time, not just graphic novels, not just, I don't
Mr.
know.
Bagby, look at how large this book is. I'm going to be reading this all summer.
What is it?
It's called Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow.
Wow.
And then on the back, the blurb. I got hooked reading the blurb when my mom bought this for me.
That's what good blurbs do. In fact, your
Wait,
blurb,
I have to wait.
excuse me, your blurb reminds me of what I asked for on Friday. A blurb is like a persuasive sentence or paragraph to convince you to read a book.
Because now I want to read this so badly, but I have to wait until school ends.
Yeah.
So I'm not disrupted when I read it.
Okay, we're going to move on. Thank you for sharing, Maceo. We've got the 6 traits of writing. That's not going away because you're still writing on your narrative story. I hope you saw that really great fun song on editing. Please stop talking or mute yourself. You got capital letters, understanding, punctuation, spelling. That's a nice little acronym, CUPS. Check your capital letters, make sure it makes sense. Use your punctuation, check your spelling. And moving down, we have, again, the keys to effective writing. I keep this up here because I want you to keep reviewing it and thinking about it. And I want you to be sharing something in these Zoom meetings in this week before we get to the tour guides. Either your narrative piece, your persuasive piece, or your informational piece. And moving down here, again, the persuasive and information pieces just have to be a paragraph long. We're writing examples of our best writing. Those are the keys to the strong narrative. I just simply kept that on the page so that you can refer to it and didn't have to open up another page. But now I want to get into the keys to effective persuasion writing. So, narrative and persuasion writing are 2 distinctly different types of writing as well as informational. In persuasion, you can tell a little story, you can use information, but the key to it is the word persuading. You're trying to get somebody else to see your point. Not necessarily to agree with you, but at least to understand what you're trying to say. So here are some good keys to effective persuasion, even if it's just 1 paragraph. And here's an article also that goes into more detail. Choose a topic and position and state it clearly. In other words, choose a topic and position that you care about, that you know about, that you want to persuade somebody about. Know what the opposite position is, because if you know the opposite position that somebody else has, then you can include arguments in your persuasive piece that address those objections. When you try to persuade somebody, people are automatically thinking, I don't agree with this. How do I not agree with this? Let me come up with the reasons. I know why. But if you think that through ahead of time, I don't care if you're trying to persuade your brother, your sister, your cousin, your mom or dad, or anybody else, if you think from their perspective, you have gone a long way into figuring out what good persuasion is. because you'll be ready to address those objections and they won't throw you for a loop. They won't be like, oh gosh, I hadn't thought about that. Try to think about it. Try to think about what other people might think. Know the person or audience you're trying to persuade, and then think, how does this benefit them? If I want my mom or dad to try to give me permission to do something, try to put it in a way where something about it benefits who they are. Something about it benefits your brother or your sister or your uncle or your grandma or your friend or
How do we
whatever you're trying to persuade. See how it benefits them, not just you. That kind of persuasion makes you seem a little less selfish about your own desires, which makes you more likely to be effective in your persuasion. Do some research about the topic and position. It doesn't have to be a lot of research. What do others say about it and against it? Identify the most convincing evidence as well as the key points for the opposing view. What is your real, and here's a term here, it's called the linchpin. The linchpin means it's the strongest argument you have. When a lawyer, an attorney is preparing their case, they're looking for that linchpin evidence, that thing that they're going to hold back until they're just ready to lay it down and say, this is why this person can't be guilty, or this is why this person can be guilty. Start with your premise, provide your evidence, provide your arguments against the opposite position. Close by restating your premise in a slightly different way. All of this can be done in one paragraph, as long as you're constructing each sentence with a purpose. Oh, and by the way, let me put this straight. If you write, this is my opinion, we already know it's your opinion. You're writing a persuasive piece. You don't have to tell us. We know it's your opinion. We know it's what you think because you're telling us. You don't say, and this is what I think, and this is my opinion. If you're writing an opinion piece, we know it's your opinion. So you can avoid that phrase. And if you put it in there anyway, oh well, you'll learn. Because you'll be told the same thing next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. Here's some really good ones today. 3 separate mind puzzlers, and all of them doable.
I figured out all 3 of them the first time I looked at them.
Excellent. You've got
First
the
one's
Indus
actually
River
really
Valley.
easy.
By the way, Peepo's back. I don't know if he's in this one, but it is the time compass of ancient India.
Peepo's back.
Lists 3 of the most interesting facts about ancient India. And again, what we're doing is just simply reviewing everything we've done so far this year. We're just rolling right through it. And please work on your docent guide project. If you have any trouble finding information on the place that you chose, please choose another place, okay? Don't choose some place where there's no information. If you're stuck, unstuck yourself and choose someplace else. Because you know what? There are other places, lots of them, everywhere.
100
Facts about geography. Here's some really weird Earth facts in here. You'll really like this one. It's just a short little video, the weirdest to you. At quizzes, you got a subject-verb agreement. And again, if you're not entered in there, you have to use the code. But if you need another entry into quizzes, just let me know and I'll send you a link. And look around your house. This is kind of a geometry thing, math thing. What's your most common shape? What's your most common shape in your house? How many circles are there? How many squares, rectangles? And I'm talking about the building, the windows, the floors, and things like that. How many of each? And then finally, one of my favorite studies of all is learning how, this is called metacognition. It's learning how your brain works. It's called thinking about your own thinking. In the central nervous system, a synapse is a small gap at the end of a neuron that allows a signal to pass from one neuron to the next. It's kind of like electrical connections. And the more you make those fire, you build little bridges called memory. And when you keep reviewing it, those bridges became stronger and stronger and stronger so that you don't forget them. You literally build your brain in reality, not just in some ethereal thought world. All your thoughts are based upon electrical currents And the more you make yourself concentrate and make yourself memorize things and study things and understanding things, you're literally connecting those neurons together physically through electrical currents. That's
Wow.
and inside of your brain, there are 100 trillion of these synapses. 100 trillion. 100 trillion. That's more than all the stars in our Milky Way galaxy. Not in the universe. There's far more stars in the whole universe. But in our own brain, 100 trillion synapses. We can't even begin to understand that, but it's very cool. So we have the little prince posted down here too. And I do want to remind you of a couple things. Number one, this is the big thing. Of course, I talked about the tour guide thing, but in addition, next week and the last week, I will be meeting with you in the private channel, and I would appreciate it if your parents or some significant person, an adult in your life, can meet me there, and we're going to talk about the end of the year and get a little feedback from you as to how it went, and talk about the summer programs and next school year. A very important email came to your parents today. I sent it out. It's from Miss Graham. It also has a little flyer attached to it about virtual summer bridge, and it talks about when you can come by the school and pick up your stuff. I'm going in this Wednesday to clear out the room and clean it all up and organize the stuff. So I'll have it. I will be going through all your stuff that you left behind, including the booklets that you made earlier this year. So you'll have 2 different days you'll be able to swing by, and plus she has a bunch of other information in there. Okay, let's stop this share, and now I'm going to ask you. Somebody's not here. Who is that?
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
He's never here.
No. That was a blank screen. There was a wall. No, that's Milo. Milo is a blank wall right now.
No,
So
Milo
I'm
is
going to ask you now. By the way, who is YTMDCD? Who is that?
Maceo.
Maceo.
Okay.
You're not right.
Yeah, sure.
Kiana's become cool kid. It's your chance now. If you have something to share, narrative-wise, persuasion-wise, informational-wise, or anything you want to ask or share, this is your time now.
I have something to share.
Can you let me share my
that?
screen?
Who just said that?
Zach,
Go ahead, Zach.
I'm on the 7th Harry Potter book.
Oh, congratulations.
I think
Hey
I
guys,
finished
I'm back. I went to go get
the
milk.
book in about 3 to 5 days.
Milo has a milk mustache. There, it's gone.
Where? Oh. You
Yeah.
went to go get some milk?
Milo needs a.
I left to go get some milk.
Wow.
So let me ask you, does anybody have a narrative? Does anybody have a narrative to share?
Yes.
Me.
Can
Can I share?
Okay,
Can I share my
Go ahead and
screen?
screen share. Put it up there now.
I do.
I kept disabled it again.
Last time
I disabled it.
you acted like you didn't even hear me.
How
Mr.
would I
Bagby.
There you go.
screen share?
There we go.
You're away.
I just
Okay,
chugged the whole milk.
Chris. Okay, Graham can go because I'm gonna look for. Oh shoot.
You see
Graham
it?
can go now because I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do my stuff.
Graham, go
I have to
ahead.
look for
I
mine.
just chugged the whole glass of milk.
You
Okay.
have a milk mustache.
I know.
Okay, Zach, do you have something? Who else? If you have something to share, unmute yourself and put it up there and let's read it.
I share.
Go.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, Zoe's showing us. Is that what you're going to do for us, Zoe, for the tour guide?
What?
Did you call me?
No. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're going to start sharing that. You just want to show us, give us a little preview?
Yeah.
Can you see it? No, can they see it?
Yes, I'm sharing it right now.
Well, Zoe, it's looking really good. I'll tell you though, we're going to start sharing oh, look at that, a belly button of the moon. I've never heard of that. It's looking good, Zoe.
Okay.
Can't wait to see all of it.
Can I share?
Who's I?
Can I share?
Kyla.
Say your name.
Kyla.
Kyla, go ahead.
I just got a music assignment called Escape Room.
I already did it.
Kyla, go ahead.
Wait, I can't see it. Yeah, hold on. I can't really see it,
What? It's small, but we can see it.
but I can't.
At all?
Well, I can see a little bit of it. It's just the thing with you guys was covering it. Okay.
There
I
you go.
changed her name. Hello, my name is Talia Grace, and I'm going to tell you my story. Talia, it's time to go to the magic show, called my dad. Okay, I'm coming downstairs. I came downstairs and ran out the door, then yelled, I'm taking my bike there. My dad tried to argue, but there was no point. When I got to the magic show, I was 2 hours early to get a good seat. There were barely any left. I managed to find a second row seat. I saw my dad and waved. I'd saved him a seat. He sat down and the show started. They started with milk and a hat. I'm not going to name all the tricks, but they ended with walking on water. After the show, I told my dad I wanted to have a career as a magician. My dad said we could look into it, so I started researching. 3 weeks later, I found the best magician school on the East Coast. There's just one tiny problem. I live in Maine and the school is in Florida. I'd never met my mom. My dad told me she died when I was an infant. I wish I could have memory of her, but I can't go to the land of the dead till I die, and I don't want to make that soon. I rushed downstairs to show my stepmom, and she said, looks like you're going on a tropical trip.
Wow.
I was probably the most excited kid in the world. I ran to the office to show my dad, and he said it was too far, but I knew it would only take a little convincing. That night at dinner, I decided to list all the pros of me going to Florida for this. I would go somewhere I've never been before. I would go to my dream school. I would make way more friends than I have at my school, and I would make money. My dad asked what I was doing, listing all the pros of me going to the school. I said, then my dad started listing all the cons. The fact that he could only come up with one amazed me. It's on the other side of the East Coast, he said. Then I said, only one, huh? Fine, said my dad. You can go. I was very glad he said yes, considering I was already registered as a student. The next morning, I packed my bag. Then he asked me, when does it start? Tomorrow, I said. Talia, you should have done this. You should have done this earlier. Now you have to leave today.
Oh my goodness. Talia's just going to skedaddle off. How old is Talia, Kyla?
11.
Huh?
She's 11.
She's 11. Wow. That's a
Wow.
lot of freedom there.
Don't forget your quotation marks.
Well,
I'll
thank
do
you for
that later.
sharing. We'll ask the class if they have any comments. I'm really intrigued by this story. The dialogue was fantastic.
Can I
That's
share
not
now?
appropriate, Milo.
Can I share now?
Yes, go ahead.
I mute myself. There. All right, share. Share. It's short. I know it's really short, but still. Well, it's been 3 days since I took the test, and I've been trying to get in still. But it's hard to persuade the teachers in this school. They make up their mind the second something happens, even if they're wrong. And when I was about to lose hope, something great happened. I realized all I must do is to find a way to get them to give me a retake on the test. Then I came up with Operation Redo.
Ooh, I bet a lot of kids would love Operation Redo. I
That
bet a
sounds
lot of
really good.
adults would love Operation Redo.
What's up?
I don't know, Milo. He's going to tell us in his story now, isn't he?
The next paragraph is going to be the best one.
Okay.
Have you written more about the fish and their journey?
Okay, who else would like to share?
Me.
We are running out of time quickly.
That noise.
Whoever said me, go ahead.
Okay.
We can't raise our hands in here.
Yes, you can. Okay, who's going to share now? unmute yourself and share.
Who's screen
Milo?
share? Milo wants to share.
Yeah, Milo, I said unmute yourself and share.
Okay, so I'm gonna get to my book report.
Good.
I can't screen share it for obvious reasons. You know, my computer doesn't have a camera, so I'm just gonna read off it and hopefully you can see it good enough.
Actually, try to screen share it because you don't need a camera. You do have a camera. We can see you, Milo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm using my mom's phone. See?
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I got you now.
Wait, was that a school issued computer?
Yes, this is a school computer.
So why did
Okay, go ahead and read it to us.
Belarus. Do you want to learn about Belarus? Well, this is the passage for you. Come on in and I'll talk about it. Wait, where'd the rest of it go? I saved it. Okay, so anyway, Belarus borders 4 countries. Ukraine, Lithuania, and Austria, and Russia. Poland. And the rest of the passage got deleted somehow. This is all of it, apparently. The rest of it got deleted.
But it was so long.
It wasn't long. It was just.
There was a
long.
lot of writing.
It was just longer than this.
Well, I hope you can find it.
Yeah, I'll try. Anyway, I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste time of just 5 minutes of me trying to find my book report, and I'll share it tomorrow if I find it.
Can I share?
Okay, folks.
Can I share?
Go ahead, Graham.
Yay!
What are you sharing, Graham?
Can you see it?
Not yet.
Still don't see it. You have to click share. We get
Nobody sees it.
Guys, I think I'm gonna have
You didn't
to.
screen share.
Then click whatever screen you want to share. Then
I
you
rolled
have
it.
to click share.
I'll just
I'm
read
gonna have
it.
to leave. I think I'm
I'll
gonna
just
have
read
to
it.
leave because my mom doesn't like her phone going past under 5%.
Graham, do you have something to share or not?
Can I just read it? I don't know
I'll
how to
tell you
share.
what, we're now under less than a minute, so it's going to cut you off. So we better do a countdown. And Graham, be ready to share tomorrow, okay? We're down.
What?
It's automatically stops